U.S. dollar is a default currency in the world and also international trade. But Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, also known as BRICS, are attempting to change that. We want to bring in Zoe Liu, a fellow for the Council on Foreign Relations, and she's also the author of a book called Sovereign Funds: How the Communist Party of China finances its global ambitions. Zoe, thank you so much for being here. So we're seeing efforts to de-dollarize. A lot of that has to do with Russia just trying to separate themselves in other parts of the world from the dependence on the U.S. dollar. Talk to us about that. How would this new global financial system even work?
Yeah, thank you very much, Tasmin, for having me. I would take a step back to say, actually, what we are observing right now, Russia, China, India, as well as Brazil, to a lesser extent, South Africa, trying to band together, build an alternative international currency system, is not necessarily anything new at all. And if we take a look at what happened around the global financial crisis, it was at that moment when Chinese central banker Zhou Xiaochuan talked about the need to build a more diversified international currency system. And it was also at that time that BRICS members started to actively talk about how the need to diversify international currency and the international reserve system. So fast forward around 2014, after Russia's annexation of Crimea, it was at that moment when European leaders threatened to kick Russian banks off the SWIFT system. Putin, as well as other Russian leaders, started to talk about the need to build a Russian version of SWIFT. And it was at that time the whole discussion about building an alternative financial infrastructure started to really move forward inside Russia.
And Zoe, this partnership, an attempt to become independent from the U.S. dollar, I assume they see a multitude of benefits for them. What are those? And in turn, how does it hurt the American currency? What are the two effects that we could see out of it?
I would say the emergence of an alternative currency system really once it started, it is never going to go away. And this provides an alternative means for countries that are under U.S. sanctions to access international liquidity market as well as the international currencies for the settlement of trade as well as other types of transactions. So from that perspective, despite that there is no direct, immediate negative impact on the U.S. dollar or the dollar's hegemonic currency status in the short run, it is going to restrain the U.S. ability to implement sanctions as well as other types of coercive financial statecraft means. So from that perspective, in the long run, if we are observing, if the current situation, what we are observing, countries like China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Brazil, a lot of all these major commodity exporters, as well as importers such as China and India, bandwagon together, they could potentially create their own currency system. On the one hand, you have China providing the means of the currency for trade invoicing and settlement, and then on the other hand, the trade within the trading bloc can potentially be balanced against each other, meaning you have exporters and you have importers. So basically, a lot of the need can be settled within. That basically is going to make the U.S. dollar no longer relevant for the purpose of all these countries. So that is not going to be a good news for U.S. government.
All right, Zoe Liu from the Council on Foreign Relations, thank you so much for being here, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tasmin, for having me.